Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this part 3 I'll show you how I get the other left hand cylinder head off. Let me show you how far we've got, and I have a few questions at the end for you more experienced guys that have been around the 6.3 and various other Mercedes. So let's get started and pull that other head off. Here it is, but I'm going to jump back into the past and you'll see how I got here. Okay, let's go. So we're getting the next cam gear off. I'm going to put a bar here just holding that gear so that we can get some leverage on this. There we go. Got a feeling these gears are not that old. Get that in there. Can you see that? Looks pretty decent to me. But again, I'll price these out, and that looks perfectly good to me. So it might be something that goes back on. You know, let me know what you think. Or just while we're in here, sling some new ones on. Get that out of the way. A lot of 22, 24 combinations on these fittings here. Bag and tag. Right, we're ready to get this head off now. Get that right. Oh, very loose, that one. And this one up top. Again, quite loose. See, it's right there, that guy. What I'm going to do, like I did last time, we'll just loosen it up to the point where it's completely free of the block. Twist it, put my finger on it, and if I can get it, the camera's a bit in the way, but just gently lift it out. I see the washer's going to come with it, so we'll get a magnet. Come out just like that. See, you wouldn't really want to do that. That would be a unpleasant job if you weren't doing what I'm doing, was it? So let's do the one down the bottom. Get to the point where it's completely disconnected, and then I'll bring in the magnet. Okay. Yeah, rotate on the magnet actually. So. There you go. There you go, this is the left bank now. We're at top dead center on number 1, and that brings number 6 at top dead center. And let's pull this gasket off. Now before we do that, there's that little oiling hole here for the cam towers. This one was the one he was having, chasing an oil burning issue that was leaking at the back here and running down onto the exhaust manifold, causing all manner of issues. So I don't know whether this is the improved version, but yeah, that's what the one it is. Pretty sure. So let's get this off. Do you know what I'm thinking? So if you see this gasket here, I just pulled it right off. Looks like some oil contamination leaking out towards the outer here. Something's going on in this area. Again, like I say, I'd love some input on it. Well now that we've got that cylinder head off, we can put my better glasses on and take a good close look at these bores. Number 8, I expected, due to our results. This was one of our best ones on the leak down test. This one again, let's get the book and read them off. Okay, I'm reading off the book here from our leak down test results. And let's see. Okay, leak down test number 8. Cold engine was running 5% leak, which was pretty darn good really on a cold engine. This one was running 15% loss. This one 10%. So all these were, this one especially was very good. So all these were generally in the vicinity. Number 3 on the other side was 8. Number 2 was 9. Number 4, we know that had that leaky exhaust valve, and I put a plus by it, thinking there may also be ring leakage as well. Now, we get to number 5, the worst one of our leak down test, and you know, lo and behold, you know, at first I felt around and I thought, oh, that's pretty good, but on closer inspection, it's pretty badly scored, which is a bit disappointing, obviously. Some deep scoring in the wall, assuming there's some kind of overheating event has happened. See these lines here? Obviously difficult from the camera's point of view, but they're quite deep scores here, and especially down. There you go, some of the worst ones right there at the bottom on what's called, I believe, the thrust side of the cylinder. And I don't know whether you can see, looks like an explosion in there of metallic parts. Zoom in on those. There you go, you can see it there. There you go, there's some more scoring right there. So this cylinder is definitely beyond honing. Okay, if you can see, there's something going on here. There was a bunch of oil around here, and it looks like something has gone on here. Okay, some kind of blown gasket event. So, and something there as well. All the others seem pretty consistent. This little area I'm not sure about, but generally these are all right. But anyway, so there you have it. Now, number 1 was the other one that had poor results, not as bad as this. So I'm expecting, when I bring that piston down to inspect the walls, that we've probably got some scoring on that piston as well. That's what I'm anticipating. So this is another thought for you guys. So I was able to get that piston down on the bottom of the stroke, and the walls on that piston are perfect. So we've got 7 essentially perfect cylinders that just need honing, okay? And just this one, which is a bit of a drag, but here's my thought. Give me feedback. I'm not shy, you're not going to hurt my feelings, because obviously the decision's down to me in the end anyway, but I love hearing your opinions of people that have done this for their lives, or are just dedicated guys that really love this stuff. One thing I did think of, if you could sleeve the one bore, okay? Now, there is a downside to that. Now, from my understanding, you could distort the adjacent bore. Let me know about that, because you're more familiar with the strength of this block and whether it would distort that, okay? And that's a fair, you know, concern. Barring that, because the condition is such nice on the other side, is to sleeve just one bank, okay? Sleeve one bank. I mean, I don't know, but that might save $1,000. Or while you're in it, you just go, you know what, sleeve the old bloody lot and get on with it. So that's what I think. Well, I have no opinion on that really, but it's obviously you don't want to spend money where it's unnecessary, but you want to spend the money that's appropriate because you're this deep into this project, and you don't want to be silly, do you? So that's the thing. We've got 7 great cylinders, 1 crappy one basically. spark plug holder, lead holder. I'll get all these, I'll plate these, they look nice when they all replated. That's an easy job. Okay, due to the condition of the cylinder on number 5, the heavy scoring that unfortunately we found, that's one thing. So what I want to do before I go any further down that route, we'll get these heads all taken apart, you know, all the pieces off these, check for, you know, level and all that good stuff, and repair of a exhaust stud. But for that I need to get the rocker arms out, and let me show you what I got for that. Obviously you're going to need a spring compressor. I bought this one. It was ended up being about 75 bucks. Really nice quality actually. I was quite impressed with it. Very heavy duty one. They were around 100 bucks, but it was on sale for 75. So first of all I'm going to just undo the rocker clips, just push those out the way, and then we can take the rockers out, and making sure that they're all going back in their original position. But I may end up actually replacing the rockers depending on what I decide. I do have a bunch of new ones that I was fortunate enough to score, so why not while we're in here. So just pulling these clips back, get those out of the way, and see how easy it is. So put that guy on there, and just make sure we don't hit the valve with our spacer blocks here. Okay, so I'm going to just compress the spring, take the rocker out, simple as that. So there you go. I mean, they look pretty decent to me. Might not end up replacing them, but while we're in here we'll see, eh? So I'll just keep those in order just in case. Along with, there's a little shim in the top of the spring here that you can lift out. This little shim, that little guy there, hopefully you can see that. So keep that with that rocker. So I'll work my way along here, taking these out. And also, you know, when we're doing valve adjustments, if those the posts on the other side get really tough to crack open, you would use this spring compressor to remove the rocker so you can get a full socket on those and kind of break them free. Let that go out. Well, that's all the rockers out. Very straightforward to do that. Now on the other side I'm going to remove all the springs, unhook those springs from these little pins. Let me get one and I'll show you. And everything getting bagged up in order so we keep everything together. These little pins that are in the base of the towers, and that's what that hooks around to, the little spring. So keep all those together. What we do need to do now on both heads actually is get these guides out, and this pressure wheel for the chain tensioner. See this guy down here, that's on a pin. I'm just going to go to the hardware store and I'll show you what I'm going to come up with to pull these pins out. Okay, so off I go. Right, okay, so I've been to the hardware store. I got an M6 threaded bolt, okay, and a nut on the end of it, see, right here. So what we're going to do, bring that out. So we'll thread that into that hole, you see, with the outer nut, get a good purchase on it. Oops, that's spinning in there. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I've got a finger holding it. get that right in there. That's nice and tight. The socket like that, and then the inner nut will take up the slack, you see. And man, that thing, what am I doing? This comes out easy, this one. That's funny. Okay, so I'll show you on the guide. That one's funny, that just came shooting straight out, didn't it? Okay, so that is the pressure gear, you know, that the chain tensioner goes to. So we'll keep all that together. That's funny. All right. I literally just pushed in there, that one. Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, that was just... something's not right there, I'm sure. Did we have a nut? Oh, we had a bolt over the top of that, didn't we? Silly me. So, forget that. That's me being a wally. So, let's do this chain guide one, right? So, much the same again. We'll get that threaded into, again, like I say, M6 thread. This will have to get pulled out because these are press fit ones. Right, you've got a good grip in there, right? So socket goes down to the body. Take up the slack. And by the way, this little bolts out, what, $3 or something? Something like that. So then we'll probably hear it crack or something, or click, and we go to pull it. There we go, did you hear that? And now that's just pulling, obviously because the washer's pushing against here, pulling that pin out. This is something you can make for when you do your chain guide replacement, you know, if you're doing your chain service. But you've got to make sure you hold on to this guide, you know, maybe with some vice grips gently, you know, holding it so it don't drop into the motor. I think that's got it, isn't it? You want a deep socket, obviously, to give it somewhere to go, you know, inside the... There we go, see? So we'll undo that. There we go. Catch it at the bottom, that's how long the shaft is, you see? So, nice deep socket to pull it out. So just a thread. There you go. So that's the top one, I'll mark that. Let's do the other one here. There we go, there's the guide. Nice metal guides here. And I'd love to know, I think I mentioned in the last video, a little scored up here, if there's I can replace these faces. I'm sure you can, with this clip at the back by the looks of it. It looks like a clip. I'll have to look at that with my better glasses, but that would be nice just to reface these. Well, there you go. Now, I've soaked these guys, these switches, thermal switches here, but I'm going to see if they'll come out. Oh, wasn't bad at all, was it? I have been soaking them for a while, so good old PB blaster. Put those carefully in their own little box, I think. So let's get this one out. There you can see I wasn't hitting hard. PB blaster all the way. Beautiful. Pleased about that. Right, so I think we're pretty much at a standstill here until I get these the spring compressor to take these guys off. Thought you'd like to see this. This is the left cylinder head. This is number 5. Okay, next to obviously 6 here. Just wanted to show you the comparison. Look at the exhaust valve on 6. I don't have the numbers in front of me. This was pretty decent, but look at that one. It's all capped in, a lot of carbon, and I think there was an oil leak coming in here, and I don't know, causing an issue, so to speak. So let me see if we can zoom in on that. You can see that's a lot worse than all the rest of them. So these are problem cylinder. I'm just stripping down this left cylinder head. Everything looks good, and like I say, there's a lot of indications that these have been worked on in the not too distant past. Namely, the valve guides seem to be in really good shape, and this head doesn't look that great at the moment, but let me show you the other one that I've cleaned up. So here's the right hand cylinder. You can see it's come up very nicely, giving it a good thorough cleaning. There's still a few little dark spots on the mating surface here. I'm going to make sure we get all that clean and then test it for flatness. You can see, I think those valve seats have been replaced, and consequently I think the valve guides have been replaced in the not too distant past, because these have come up beautifully clean. There's no lapping done yet. Obviously I've got to do lapping, but heads are in beautiful shape. So this is a bit of a bonus after the little disappointment of number 5 cylinder, but it's to be expected. We're going to have problems on the way, but this is a real bonus to have these heads in seemingly really nice shape. Right, now we've got all the front off of here. I've got the water pump base, the distributor housing, all that, as I said, came off very easily. Again, soaking it with PB Blaster over several days and a few weeks. This is the chain tensioner base I took off there, and as you know, there's a framework here, and then the pump goes on there, and then the distributor housing, and this is the gear that drives the distributor. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this off now. Now all it is a 4 Allen bolts around, so just to hold the gear, so you don't go putting that there, because you wouldn't want to, you know, interfere with the head at all. So I'm just going to jam the gear and undo this guy. It shouldn't be too tight. There we go. It's just on a pin by the looks of it. Oh, I undid that one already. And this guy. That's the washer. Okay, pretty straightforward there. Again, the gear, you get you in on the gear, set that on a bit of paper there. Gear condition's pretty decent by the looks of it. No wave pattern to it. I mean, essentially when you think about it, this is not under a lot of stress, this guy, is it really? Okay, so that will mark distributor drive gear, and the front worm gear, I guess that's called, isn't it? Now we've got the top drive pulley here that drives the pump. Okay, where's that? So there's some splines on this other side over here where engages to the injection pump, and get this undone. So I didn't have the camera on, darn. There's a pin here going through, and the chain was going over the top, and that was stopping the gear coming off to the side. So here is the This is the pump drive gear. There we go. So that's the pump drive gear up in the top there that drives the injection pump. I have to do a little read up on the old book on this one because there's that pulley in there. I'll refresh myself about how to get that out, because obviously you don't want that in when it goes to the machine shop. Don't want any all the muck and everything to get in there, so this needs to be completely stripped down. I've removed the timing chain. That's the timing chain out of the car, all 7 feet of it. There's exactly a 7-foot timing chain, so you can see why it's imperative to check these on a really regular basis to make sure that you think of all those little links stretching just slightly, that over that whole length that's going to add up to some. We have to take the front harmonic balancer off, and we have to be able to stop the engine turning around, obviously, when we do that. So I've got this little tool I made up. All it is a plate of steel, and there's a piece sticking out here, and I've ground that like a razor edge to engage with one of the teeth of the the starter ring gear there. So once this is bolted into position, it essentially fixes the motor from turning over. So I've got a couple of bolts here, just engage it in one of the teeth. I work to be able to get the teeth shape the best, so it sinks in as true as possible, so it's not on the tip, for instance. So we'll get that tightened in there, and then make sure it's fully engaged. Hit those up, check for our engagement on the gear. See if I can get you in there. There we go. And see if you can see it. See the plate is just engaged in one of the lower teeth there, and I shaped it so it'd really get a good grip. And let's see if we can undo the harmonic balancer now. Nuts or bolts connecting the harmonic balancer to the pulley. I haven't loosened those yet, but I just want to see if we can undo that nut, which is on around 240 foot-pounds of torque. So we've got to use a helper bar here. Insert the wrench into this guy, and this should do the trick. Ready? There we go. And I'm going to have to get a large puller to pull this sucker off, but in the meantime I've marked the harmonic balancer in regards to the position of the pulley, so I want to make sure they go back the same way, because of I think they are all balanced at the factory, so I've got to keep those the same. Well, I think I'm going to call that an end to this video. Got the front nut off that guy. I'm going to get a pulley puller from my friend Urban. He's got a meaty enough one to pull that off. But before we do that, we do have to disconnect the transmission from the ring gear, the surrounding ring gear, or the ring gear from the flex plate, I should say. And then pull off the transmission, and then get this guy on a good quality engine stand, and that's something I'm waiting for. I do have one, but I'm not overly confident in it, so I'm going to get one that's capable of holding 1 ton, not a 1,000 pound one, but a 2,000 pound one, because you don't want this dropping on the floor, do you? So, and also the stability of the legs and all that sort of stuff. In the meantime, I mean, this video is taking some time to film, this third part, I guess it is, because I've been interacting with some of you guys on the group and various on the YouTube comments as well. And basically here's what I think the choice is. Obviously to re-sleeve one bank alone, taking care of this scored number 5 cylinder in the process, re-sleeve back to standard, reuse the standard pistons, okay, either just doing one bank or both, so that's the re-sleeve route. Re-sleeve it back to standard, and then assuming this piston is trash, which I'm sure it is, because the amount of damage on that cylinder is too much to expect that cylinder to have survived in a good shape. And obviously all new rings for all new pistons, all the pistons. In the meantime, I did pick up a set of 8 6.3 standard pistons from eBay, very good shape ones. This is one of them. They seem to be in extremely good shape. These are 102.99, 103 mil standards. So I kind of picked these up just in case, really, because they don't come up very often. And if I don't end up using them, I guess I could always sell them back on to somebody. But I thought I'd better jump on them at a reasonable price, actually. And so we've got that as the backup. So that would be the course of action if I ended up re-sleeving using standard new set of rings. Now, that's the way I'm inclined to go. That obviously requires quite a lot of block work, probably in the neighbourhood of being quoted around 3,000 rings, anywhere from I think about 750 to 1,000, and then using all the original pistons. And then obviously you've got crank bearings, rod end bearings, all that stuff. So there's that route, which I'm inclined to go that way, or the other route is to have pistons made, and with going that route you wouldn't have to sleeve it, would it? It'd just go up a size, enough to get rid of this scoring, and go up the next size. So that would probably save on money from the block work, as long as the block's in good shape. We're going to have it magnafluxed and checked for cracks, and obviously the decks flattened, made sure they're true. But if we were just having pistons made, we would just rebore, size up, and new pistons. I got an approximate cost of having a set of new pistons with rings for around 2,800. So obviously the only thing to take into consideration really with that, I'm sure they're good quality pistons, and I've had someone recommended another company, I think called Ross, it was Ross in Southern California. They make high performance pistons for many years, but so those are the two paths I'm considering right now. And obviously the purists, stick with the standard original Mercedes pistons and be done with it, re-ring it, sleeve it, and off you go. Or the other choice is new pistons, reboard to the size up, and then off you go that way. That way you do get rings with the pistons. So I thought 2,800 actually, even though it's not a small amount of money, I thought that was quite reasonable really for what you're getting. Anyway, let me know what you think, and just for comparison's sake, this is a 6.3 piston and this is a 4.5 piston, low compression 4.5 model, see, with a dish at the top. This is a high compression European one, I guess. That's a beast, isn't it? Save this video getting ridiculously long. I'm breaking it up into yet another part, which will have this on the engine stand. I've just got to get the engine stand here, and we'll start taking the pan off and seeing what's going on the bottom end. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really appreciate all your input, and please chime in what you think about what I just asked you, and I will see you next one. Please hit like, share, subscribe, and take care. Bye bye.